Okay. So then for a care plan, what does a symptomatic care plan look like? So first of all, let me clarify what I heard you just say. Basically, if you've got a dog that's limping and they also happen to have anxiety, you would develop a care plan about the limping and function and not really approach the anxiety aspect. And like the dog parent might go like, we've noticed better anxiety, but that's not what you're designing a care plan.
Correct. Yeah.
Do any animal chiropractors really?
There are some that work on extraneous. I call them extraneous, not to say that I don't think they're valuable, but they work on additional metrics. I would feel like most people will call you for something going on with the musculoskeletal system. So that's the primary goal. And I tell everybody, don't be afraid to add multiple professionals to your pet's care team. If they need a behaviorist in addition to an animal chiropractor, that's great. A dog trainer, that's great. Maybe they also need a rehab professional, a surgeon. You're allowed to have more than one person working on your pet, and it also takes a lot of stress off you. You don't have to know everything, right? It's okay to co-manage. But as far as like what kind of care plan I recommend, it just depends. What is the owner's goal, right? If they have an acute complaint, I might see them more often, like once a week. If they have a performance complaint, I just want to enable them to be more healthy. I might start every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. If I have someone who's just wanting to maintain their pet's progress, I might do once a month. I personally see most maintenance clients about every 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes if they're younger, a puppy wellness, 8 weeks, like 4 times a year. But it just depends on the owner and their goals. If you have a really acute complaint, it's not overdoing it to see a pet once a week. If they're paralyzed or screaming twice a week, absolutely. But it's one of those things where chiropractic's really cool. You see results pretty fast. I've had paralyzed dogs walk again. I've had horses that are supposed to be retired go back to work. It's one of those things that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering why. Back in human world, so obviously if we're working more nervous system stuff, like it makes sense that it's like, yep, it's 3 times a week for multiple months. But even somebody who's got, let's say, sciatic pain or like a really locked up SI joint, let's just go even simpler. I can deliver a freaking fantastic, like, oh yeah, just like side posture adjustment or whatever technique. Like I can deliver an amazing adjustment, but it doesn't usually last. Like I would still need to see someone if they like had like, I'm totally good, I just have this locked up SI joint. How many adjustments do you think before this is going to like be great or whatever? I would say, God, you're probably looking at a minimum of 6 type of thing. Like, do you think that animal chiropractic works? I love that I'm just asking you these super theoretical questions that you're like, I don't freaking know, Lauren, but we're here for a conversation and you have to answer. So like, why can a care plan be like once a week for an animal, but then an adult or a human, like it just needs more? Is there just more, like, do we think it's the nervous system stress of like, well, being a human is more complex?
It's everything between the ears. It is, I'm stressed about my kids. I'm stressed about my mortgage payment. I'm stressed about work. Pets don't have that. They don't worry about everyone else. Their only job is to survive another day, right? So their main goal is to get better. And this is part of the thing that's really cool about working on kids versus adults. I'm sure you see this. They don't care that it hurts. They're like, I want to go back and play with my trucks. And dogs are the same way. I want to go back and play with my toys. That's all I care about. I don't care about my mortgage payment. I don't have chronic pain. I only have the objective of getting better. Right. And the emotional component, BJ Palmer actually had an animal clinic. I don't know if anyone knows that. Petra Solward teaches a course on that, where he used to adjust animals to prove that chiropractic worked because there's no placebo effect. You don't whisper in an animal's ear, hey, walk a little bit better after I adjust you. It just works. Right. So there's not the mental component. And I feel that's why they hold their adjustment much better. Now, with environmental stuff, if you change some of the environment, like, hey, playing fetch is actually detrimental to your dog's joints, he's been limping, maybe don't do that. Like if we change some environmental things, just like you change it for people, like Maybe don't look down at your cell phone for 6 hours a day. Maybe then your neck will feel better. A lot of the ergonomics bit, you make a couple of changes with that, you deliver a great adjustment, you give some home exercises maybe, and that's the recipe for success as long as you don't have all the stress in the equation.